Hi everyone, this is Jamie from Stuffs and Things by JD. Today I just want to take a few minutes and show you how I make a bow. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the bow experience and how to put a bow on a wreath. So first of all, let's get started with our bow. And this is a 2.5 scalloped edge burlap. It's one of my favorites. I just love the little scallops on here. I'm going to put this bow on a grapevine, and I want it to have more of like a everyday neutral look. So here's the ribbons I'm going to use. I'm going to use this with a little bit of the black and white plaid, and then I'm going to accent it with a dark purple. And then I'm going to come in with a light purple scallop, and then I'm going to top it off with this smaller black and white dot that is 7/8 inch. So I have a 2.5, a 2.5, a 1.5, a 1.5, and a 7/8. And this one is just really going to be the like the little button that you call in the middle of the bow. So let's go ahead and get started. I am not a professional bow maker at all. I like to keep my ribbon on the table. I know that I do have a little stick I can put on my bow maker. I like to keep mine on the table. So I am going to use this on a 14-inch grapevine. So I want some really long tails. And as everyone always says, go longer, you can cut things off. You can't make them long once you cut them short. So I'm going to go with about a 12-inch tail on this first one. I'm going to slide it in here, and as I do, I'm just going to twist. So the tips for making bows, of course, is your twists and turns, right? So I'm going to twist that down, turn the back side up, and then I'm just going to make about a 12-inch loop. So that doesn't mean I'm going to make my ribbon out 12 inches, right? I'm going to go out here to just above the 6-inch and pull it back. That's why it's 12 inches, because it's 6 one way and 6 back the other. And then I'm just going to drop this down in my bow maker, twist, leaving the pretty side out. And now I'm looking at the underside, right? And again, I'm going to make another 12-inch bow, so I'm dropping that down to the 6-inch mark right here and bringing this back in. Now when I come back in, I like to really scrunch that down and then pull out my tail. And I don't do a lot of measuring on tails. I know some people do. I don't. I just like to kind of get this in here and pull them to the sides. Now, depending on my bow, I might put these at an angle with the tails on an X shape. Sometimes I like to have my tails out to the side here and put all my bow loops out to the side with the tails. But for this one, we're just going to go in kind of like the X format, right? And then I'm going to come in with the 1.5. Now, you can do whatever it is that you like to do. Some people like to put all their big bow, all their big ribbon on the bottom and go from the smallest size to, or from the largest size to the smallest size. It's really your preference. I'm kind of changing this up for a different reason. I don't want my two purples together. That's why. So I'm going to come in now with my 1.5. Okay, so we are going to start with the tail on this side, just kind of gauging it again, twisting down, and now I'm going to make this loop just a little bit shorter than my bottom. I know everybody says about a 1/2 inch. To be honest, I don't really do a lot of measuring. I just kind of do it by look, but I do try to make the loops on each side match in comparison. So I just kind of take a look here and then again scrunch it down and cut that off. Right, so now we have 2 of our 5 ribbons down in our bow. Again, I'm just going to pull these into sort of an X shape. and go to my black and white. And again, this is a 2.5. So I'm going to do the same pattern, not really measuring, pinch and twist, make my bow, pinch and twist, and then we're going to cut that off. Again, I don't do a lot of measuring. I like to see how I like it, feel how I like it, and just kind of move on from there, right? I know a lot of people do like to measure everything. So now I'm going to come in with my lighter ribbon, and see now it's going to sit on top of this black and white, which is what I wanted. So we'll come in with this. Again, I'm just kind of gauging my tails, pulling it down, twisting, going again just a little bit shorter on the loop than the previous loop, and then pinch and cut that off. Now, again, when I make my X's, I'm trying to alternate which side they're on. So if I have this tail up here, the next time I'll pull a loop up. So that means now this time the tail comes up. You get the idea, right? Just trying to offset that so that it makes it easier to fluff my bow at the end, in my opinion. Okay, lastly, I am going to use my 7/8, and I'm just going to make a little button on the top. It gives it more finished look. Again, no measuring, just going to twist this. And I'm only making one loop this time. So I just want to make one little loop, again, smaller than the rest. Pinch it down and cut that off. Oh, my scissors need to be sharpened. Okay. All right, and then that's really it. You could probably hear my dogs in the background getting a little rowdy. And that's it. That's my bow. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about is, what do you use to tie your bows? So for me, I like to use a zip tie, okay? So in this one, I am just going to zip this together. And I like it because it makes it super tight. Make sure it's in the center there. And there you have it. And you can go back and you can fluff your loops. All right, and then we are just gonna snip this off. And there you have it. See how easy that was to fluff it out with all of the loops already separated in the X shape? Perfect. Looks great.